welcome to Digital Shift, also known as Corporate Evolution Tales. Join us as we dive into the dynamic world of digital transformation. From illuminating case studies to captivating narratives, we uncover the stories behind companies' journeys toward digital excellence. Whether you are a seasoned corporate leader or an aspiring innovator, our podcast explores the shifts, challenges of modern business evolution. Hello everyone, this is another episode of Digital Shifts, aka Corporate Evolution Tales, and today my guest is Vadim. Thank you, Vadim, so much for being today my guest and being ready to share your experience.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for inviting.
Awesome. Well, let's start from presenting yourself and sharing what kind of experience you have in the field.
Yeah, I have a couple of things. So the first, I have my own company called Divka. So we do a lot of work on AI transformation specifically, and doing a lot of custom development projects specifically for fintech and healthcare type of clients. Mostly this is US-based clients, also some part of them in Europe, building different SaaS applications, large complex type of projects with like tens of thousands of hours typically. Beside this, I'm doing a lot of advisory for AI startups on the product side, as well as working a lot closely with cybersecurity startups, also helping them with a product and basically anything B2B SaaS related.
Awesome. Well, I think you have a huge experience in digital transformation then, because the companies like us are basically helping people and supporting them with that, right? So first question, and as a kickoff, will be, what do you think about digital transformation?
I mean, to be honest, I think that this is the really kind of buzzword that people using to describe a lot of different things.
Right.
And in some cases, this would be really simple. Like, hey, how we can enhance this with digital and anything digital related. In reality, I think from the actual perspective, this should be played a little bit differently. So how we can make a company more successful in achieving the goal using the whatever AI tools, whatever digital tools, plus how we can make it so the company is actually maybe rethinking what they're doing using this tool. Because in many cases, what we see that you need to change the product, you need to change the nature of the product just because it's different, and you can compete in old ways, but now you need to compete in different ways.
Agree, definitely. And well, you mentioned about competing and also like the different way. So do you think that during this time, like there has been the change that is definitely registered there, how we were seeing the digital transformation and how it is happening now? I think that with the companies like ours, that's definitely some difference in, well, how we were actually seeing it like in 3 years ago and even now, and specifically after pandemic, I think. So do you think that it's easy to follow these changes, or it's hard for companies generally to make that step with the digital transformation?
I think it's, first of all, it's market specific, geo and verticals. But what I see personally and as my companies, so I think that the main goal here is truly understand what company trying to achieve, because right now it's some industries that definitely cannot move so quickly, etc. But the point is, it's a lot of things will be disrupted, and I think you still can compete without probably being able to kind of rely on this digital part or AI part. But the truth is, probably in a matter of a couple of years, it would be harder and harder. And again, market specific as well as geographical differences there. Just to be clear, let's make a simple example. When you arrive into airport, you're not thinking to order a regular taxi anymore. You're thinking about like, hey, where's my Uber? Or where's my Lyft, or like wherever service in this location. So does the actual taxi companies exist? Yes. Can they actually be really successful with what they do? in the same way as Uber inside of even their region? Probably not. So again, unless you have really heavy government regulations that prohibiting from innovation, I think it's a clear path to failure if you do not utilize this and if you not play this right. Same as for many companies, that you need to be specific on things that you do, and you need to start integrating this. And again, I will keep repeating this. You need to start rethinking how you can specifically do a product differently, utilizing AI.
Yes, agree. And I think a lot of my guests are actually mentioning like the goal that should be very clear when you are doing digital transformation, and it's like about the mission and the vision that is helping you to achieve that goal, right? So what do you think about that? How we can successfully do the digital transformation, like how we can at least start it successfully?
I think in terms of successes there, the key metric for me is always just like skipping the parts of general vision of the company, etc. I'm trying to understand what the dominant player would do if they have all the tools.
Okay.
And after we can dial this down to whatever the specifics of the company, let's again make the same example. Let's make the taxi company in a region, how they can compete, what they can really do there. Can they make it a different playbook so they can become much more interesting than Uber?
Yeah.
Again, really freaking hard. Can it be done?
Right.
Yes. The truth is, probably I would not go and try to build this business in 2024. But again, it's really disrupted industries. And I think we'll see a lot of these examples where it was regular type of industry, and after it's just get really easily disrupted just because someone decided, okay, we will build the same thing, but we will spend 100 times less money, and we'll have maybe 10 employees, not 1,000 employees, and we will just do better job just because, again, our cost is crazy low. And I think, like, again, it's a certain ways that you can try to dig this hole without shovel.
Right.
And technically, you will be able to, sure. But does it make sense? So I think the point is we need to think about those type of examples as like how we can actually make a leader in a segment specifically.
Right.
And after we can rethink the ideas of like, hey, what we can do here to achieve this. Because again, digital or AI, it doesn't matter. It's still a tool. And the main question here is like how we can use this tool. The same as the shovel. Yeah, I mean, you can dig with your bare hands. Probably will take a while, but you will probably achieve the same goal. So the point is how we can make the tool more accessible for the businesses to just easily implement.
Yeah, so basically like giving the right questions and understanding how we can do that. And when we are speaking about how we can do that and building the tool, and specifically the tools that are helping with the digital transformation in the companies or like for the product, do you think that having right people is important, like really experienced one, or it is more about like the motivation that is in the team, no matter like what kind of experience the people have in the team?
I think it depends because like for example, last week interview with Salman, he mentioned it was a discussion in terms of like, hey, how we can hire more young people that just like crazy in terms of like how they approach things. And I think in this case, it would make sense. But again, still, it's not a question of age or specifics of the experience. It's partially a question of motivation and how we can think about those type of businesses in a way that was not done before. Because the main question that I always have in those type of examples, do we really play in the game how we can optimize, or we playing a game how we can win the competition. Because in the first case, perfect. We're doing a simple playbook. This is really just talking about the specifics of the one specific part of the business, and let's make it simple there. Okay,
Yep.
Perfect. We can do this. But on the other hand, the main question would be how we can make it an actual different playbook going forward. Because again, someone will. So this is my main point in all these discussions. Someone will take and do optimizations. Someone will reduce their support staff from 800 people to 20 people, and their capex become basically nothing there.
Yeah.
And they can provide support much faster. And people, yes, I mean, people will be happy, receive much simpler and quicker answers versus like, please hold on line for another 2 hours because our support staff is busy. And I think this is the clear answer. If you want to compete, you need to use the right tool to actually rethink the way how you can implement this.
Agree. And when we are speaking about the tools, I think a lot of people are wondering about the right technology to use for digital transformation. And do you have any suggestions, like what kind of technologies can help us here, or like the tool that can support us during this path?
I think toolers really depends on a case. By the end of the day, it's tool. Again, I would not say, hey, go to SAP or Oracle or wherever, and it will solve your problems. No, it will not. It will probably create more. The truth is how you can take a tool and how you can make it a success. Because by the end of the day, again, let's come back to a simple shovel example. The same concept we'll use in a different other machinery. Absolutely the same. But the main thing that is important, how we can make it really useful in a specific type of example. If we dig in whatever type of soil, how we can make it really simple for people that using this tool, how we can make it more efficient, or how we can get rid of people to do the same thing. Because maybe this is the optimization that we need. Maybe it's a ways of doing this. Again, I'm up for great tools. I love write AI and digital products. But by the end of the day, the thing that is only thing that is important is not about tools. It's about the business goal that we're trying to solve and how we can make it a success there.
Yeah, I see. Okay, well, you mentioned about AI, and I think it's something we must talk about. So, what do you think about AI generally? Is it helping nowadays with digital transformation and generally in tech world, or it is more disturbing and making people lazy?
This is interesting framing of the question. So, let me try to reply in a different fashion here.
Okay.
I think we won't make people lazy in a way, because we can spend time of people to doing something more important than things that could be automated. Again, probably 20 years ago to record the same podcast, we'll need 10 people to do the same thing. And right now we're just doing this using one simple tool online.
Yeah.
And again, same story applies. AI is actually a simple and really complex tool depending how you look into this. But it's have many, many angles. And I think we will definitely, again, the question is of implementation, how you want to do this in the right way. Because most of the cases, specifically on AI, is the question of how we can make it really that we rethinking the way how the current business is run. Because again, we can build a business differently. Let's again take the support as example. We can enhance the support personnel right now, and probably we can replace them. We can probably get rid of part of call centers. Because again, it's millions of people that really spending time talking to other people trying to resolve problems. And the truth is, probably 90% of those calls could be easily solved without like needing of
Human
doing more
person there.
complex things.
Yeah.
So why we want to spend time of people doing the same things there? So my perspective is really simple. Let's use these tools wisely as they are. And again, lazy in this case could be good because it will allow us to focus on things that are important. So again, we will find ways to do other things that are important in life and in the businesses versus spending time clicking and preparing some Excel spreadsheet that could be done with AI in seconds.
Yes, agree. But do you think that, I think this is a very frequent given question about replacing at all, like people or like the human resource. Do you think that we will be ever replaced by AI in like, and specifically in tech world, because I know that in IT world, a lot of professions, they're like the people that are in project management, I don't know, even in engineering, they are thinking, okay, one day I will be replaced. So what are your thoughts there?
They're probably right.
Okay.
Again, we created really complex thing on developing software. And we probably can automate this as well. And again, right now, roughly like 30% of things that we write in, for example, AI are generated. In some cases, it's up to 80%. I'm sure within the next year, we will have cases when it's almost 100. And again, it's certain cases when we can do simple thing as a AI based, etc. But how we can build a full scale company with AI only? Again, still understanding the architecture. But again, let me kind of like back this up a little bit. So previously, to use the computers in early days, you would need to know how to program because it was no way to actually do something without it, without knowing how to program. Again, this is how Microsoft started initially. Yeah. So the first computers that they used didn't really have a screen. I mean, it's had a light bulbs. So it's a little bit different. And now we're doing a lot of complex operations, and we don't even think what happening on a actual processor level, or what instructions send, what is happening in a network layer. Probably again, my voice right now on this podcast is encoded in like hundreds of different things and encrypted and sent through thousands of different switches, connections, etc., which is great because again, I don't need to think about this complexity. I can just talk with you and don't think that those things exist. Again, in AI right now, we still need to think on some of these layers, but I'm sure in the next year and the next couple of years, the number of layers will decrease. And for us, it will be talking to agent, asking to do X, Y, and Z, and it will do this. So coming back to the business side of things, from my perspective, we can make business better with AI. And we definitely can play this right there and again, enhance this. Because if I can run the company much leaner and having AI agents doing whatever things that they need to do there, this would be much faster business experience always. And again, we will be able to provide better quality by the end of the day. So it could be simpler deliverables. And again, right now, I'm not talking about completely replacing humans. I'm talking about enhancing and giving them a right tool. But again, if we can get rid of some professions in the future, it's probably a good thing.
And we will have some new ones, I think, as well.
You're absolutely right. And again, we may not know this, but again, probably if you would ask people about what the jobs we will have in 2024, and let's say you ask this 100 years ago, they would probably answer completely different things.
For sure.
Like, project manager? What the heck is this? Software developer? What this is about? I'm not getting this. Like what those people is doing is so. So you would probably have those type of answers. And again, this is what actually replacing this.
Mm-hmm. Agree. Awesome. And when we are speaking about all these replacements and AI, I think it's a good question to give to you about the challenges that are coming to your mind when we are speaking about digital transformation. So, what do you think are those common challenges from your experience that will be good to mention for our audience?
I think this will depend on a company and on their
The
structure.
case. Yeah.
But from what I see a lot, the people trying to resolve the old problem with new tools, not
Mm-hmm.
rethink how we can make it work. So
Okay.
basically, let's say we have some process that not efficient.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
can take this process and try to resolve this process using whatever tools. Doesn't
Right.
matter, it can
Yeah.
AI or if it's some SaaS product or whatever, doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
We can take and make this process better. But the truth is, do we really need to have this process in the first place?
Okay.
Maybe this process shouldn't exist. And maybe
Mm-hmm.
10 other things that support this process to exist need to be changed. And I think from this
Yeah.
perspective, it's more important to think about this because most likely you need to rethink the whole thing.
I
Because
see.
again, the approval processes, for example, could be really, I don't know, do we really need to have the approval processes in a way that
Mm-hmm.
we have today? And we need to still rely, again, previously it was someone go to wherever person office and ask, is this okay? Or they make a phone
Mm-hmm.
call.
Mm-hmm.
And now they just using whatever tool. But again, it's not about the right approach. The right approach may be in a way that we need to get rid of these approvals because we need to create
Yeah.
rules that will just automate this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
again, let's make an example of an accounting. A lot of people will have the same approval process that they had before. And right now they replaced phone calls with whatever
Mm-hmm.
tool that they're using, let's say Bill.com. Again, great tool, but it's not solving the problem right. It's solving, it's on an old way, but just much more convenient where you can just make a couple of clicks on a phone.
Yeah.
It's great.
Right. Right.
But does it making things faster? Partly yes.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get rid of this system and just make it as a seamless process? Sure, we can.
I see. Awesome. Well, I think this will be my last question to you, and it's about the advice. So, what advice would you offer to companies or like the individuals to take into account when starting their digital transformation journey?
You like to challenge things today. I like it. Uh, I think the main thing that they need to ask, from my perspective, that they need to start thinking about how they can play this differently. Again, I always wanted to do an experiment. Let's say we build in the same business again, like from scratch. And we have different goal in mind. So let's say we
Mm-hmm.
doing right now a couple of percent of the market in whatever vertical and whatever region, and how we can make this a 25%
Mm-hmm.
vertical region business, let's say,
Yeah.
and how we can make it much more efficient. And I'm typically want to start from this. Again,
Mm-hmm.
this is only if the company is really ready to do this on this level.
Yeah.
Because the main thing that typically will happen is like, no, it's not possible, etc. But someone
Right.
will do this. And actually,
Mm-hmm.
probably the company that are sitting next to them in a competition is already doing this, or maybe this another business that exists and already achieve this, and how we can
Yes.
go against them and how we can make it inefficient. And the
Mm-hmm.
main question is like, hey, let's forget about like limitations that we have today, how we can take the idea that we have this goal and how we can achieve this. Because
Mm-hmm.
the question would be, okay, we have a limitation on tool, that we're using. And again, it doesn't matter which
Yeah.
tool. It could be some ERP solution, or it could be some CRM, etc. Maybe we just using this wrong. Maybe we need to change things there. Maybe we need to optimize for different things. Or again, maybe we need to develop our own solution there. And again, it's typically challenging for many businesses to go from this direction.
Yeah.
Because many of them would be only ready to do the couple of percent optimizations and call it a day. Again, if you have a clients, businesses that ready to make a change and you rethink wherever they do, just using a different playbook, I think this is where it becomes much more successful and interesting project in terms of implementation. So you will be doing the things in a way that was not done before. Again, it's also challenging on people that do implementation, because in most cases they will struggle to see this future and really understand this. So it's only a handful of folks that can dive into business so deep that they will be okay to really have this perspective on, let's make it much more efficient process, because they would again be stuck in a mindset there, etc. In most cases, again, I'm not only talking about business, I'm talking about the people that doing consultancies or even internally. So again, I think it's a great challenge to overcome this and think from the first principle and play this right.
Agree, definitely. Well, thank you so much. Anything from your side that you would like to share with our audience?
I think the main thing that I just want to add is that when you're thinking about digital transformation 2024, start thinking about AI transformations and how you can do this differently, because this landscape will be different in a matter of years. And now we have innovations happening in this front really every day. And again, we never saw the space of innovation any time before. And again, things is just accelerating there. And we in really early stage there. So my point is, find the right partner to work there, or again, have a team that can do this internally. Because if you combine a great product and right approach to the customer, to right tool, in this case AI, just because it's the most efficient tool at this moment. Again, maybe we'll have AGI next year and we'll use this, or maybe we'll have forever years ahead. So again, my point is, think from the first principle and have a team that can disrupt the current ways of doing things, and it will work wonderfully.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Vadim, for all the experience that you shared and the thoughts that you gave to our audience and to me. It was lovely to speak with you and have this episode with you. So thank you so much. And yeah, have
Thanks
a
for
great
inviting
day.
again. Bye-bye.
Bye.